Good evening, duelists. It's your boy Jules, back here with another degenerate deck, maybe? We're here with an FTK deck, a first turn kill, for those of you who don't know the acronyms. This is actually the first deck that I tried to build on Master Duel because I was playing the story mode like a pleb, like a normie, and I saw the Gem Knights, and I, as one who was classically educated in the field of geology, I said, this has to be it. I have to do the rock deck. Later, I found out that Adamantipator was a thing, and I was like, no, that's too mainstream. I want to do the real rock deck. So here we are, Gem Knight FTK. I want to shout out Dag Pharaoh on YGOProDeck.com, who made the Gem Knight FTK for Master Duel and has kept this thing updated. Their list is what I use to basically make this list. It's very close, and their guide in that deck is what I'm going to be using to help pilot today, because decisions are hard. And why do it yourself when someone else can just kind of tell you what to do? Let's walk through the deck real quick, but I think the fun is actually going to be just trying to navigate this in terms of what we draw and how we can actually play the games. So this deck is based off Gem Knight Lady Lapis Lazuli, number 1 waifu. She must be fusion summoned with the above fusion materials using one of our several fusion spells in the deck, which we'll get to. You can only special summon her once per turn. That's very key. And then one per turn, you can send a Gem Knight monster from your main deck to the or extra deck to the graveyard. And if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each special summon monster on the field. So we are looking to activate this effect 3 times in a turn to burn for ideally 3k apiece. Now, since this can only be summoned once a turn, the way you're going to get around this is by using Gem Knight Master Diamond, who can basically mimic a card in the graveyard and become that monster's name and get all the effects. So we have our Lapis Lazuli. We use her to summon Gem Knight Master Diamond. Gem Knight Master Diamond banishes Lapis Lazuli, become Lapis Lazuli to trigger again, and then we get another Master Diamond who is not a once per turn, not a hard once per turn, and then do the same thing again, usually sending Lapis Lazuli for her own activation so that we have other copies of her in the graveyard to activate Master Diamond. So that's basically how the combo works. We have plenty of cards in the deck to facilitate this. Obviously, we need to summon Lapis Lazuli, we need Gem Knight Lapis, which is a rather unexciting normal monster. So we have a bunch of ways to get that, including like Unexpected Die. We have Gem Knight Alexandrite, which tributes into this, as well as a small plant package of Lone Fire Blossom, Predaplant Offers Scorpio, and Darlington Cobra to get our fusion spells, our Gem Knight Fusion and our Brilliant Fusion. Gem Knight Fusion, which can be basically continually recurred from the graveyard to facilitate the multiple fusion plays that we want to make. We have various things that will help extend, like Adamantipator Researcher. Block Dragon, of course, is a busted freaking card. Reasoning is great as well. And then we also have a few cheeky picks, like a Gem Armadillo, just in case we have nothing better. Obsidian can help get us a Lazuli, or a Lapis back, I should say. And then Black Garden is a personal inclusion, because if we can just special summon a bunch of plants to our opponent's side, this is an FTK deck. We don't care if they get to use them on their turn, because they are not going to get their turn. So that's an additional potential 2,500 damage that we can burn for. So we could easily burn for 5k on one activation. Seraphinite just gives us an extra normal summon just in case for extending. Phantom Quartz allows us to fusion summon by shuffling things into the deck from the banished or graveyard zone. Brilliant Diamond allows us to fusion summon by basically tributing one monster on our side of the field. We have a few of the good cards like the Nightmares, Access Code Talker, and Nightmare Unicorn in case things really got out of hand. Union Carrier is great when you get to equip Block Dragon. And then Cross Sheet, because this can just continue to extend us, because we will be summoning fusion monsters to a zone that it points to. All right, let us get into the games. Okay, Julian from the future here. So I was going to record last night. I recorded the deck tech. I started playing some games, and then in my FTK deck, my first turn kill deck, I went second about 5 or 6 times in a row. Came across multiple boards that put down fully charged Apoloses. And in our fragile FTK deck, going second with multiple negates set up, needless to say, we did not fare too well. I said this deck was interesting. I never said it was extremely competent against the meta, I guess. But I have played a bit more, got a few more reps in with the deck, and seen some success. So let's see a few of the replays where I do manage to pull off the combo, just so you can see how this deck is supposed to work if you want to play it yourself. Okay, so just as we drew it up, we are on the play, and we have a fairly powerful hand. Going to lead off with a Reasoning. Our opponent's going to Maxx us. That's fine. We'll take that challenge. Like I said, if we get past either turn 1 or turn 2, if we're on the draw, if we get past that, it's not our day anyway. Let's see what we can pull off the top. There is an Alexandrite. Excellent. We can tribute that Alexandrite to pull a Lapis out of our deck. We can normal summon our Predaplant, offer Scorpio, pitching our extra copy of Lapis to get our Darlingtonian Cobra, and grabbing a Brilliant Fusion. Always getting Brilliant Fusion unless we already have it, then we get Gem Knight Fusion. We're going to trigger Brilliant Fusion, sending our Lazuli and our Crystal Rose to special summon our Seraphinite. Seraphinite requires a late monster, which is why we always send Crystal Rose with that, and we're sending the Lazuli so that we can get back the Lapis. Seraphinite allows us to get another normal summon. We'll throw another Lapis down. Now, I actually make a mistake here. I should have tributed the Lapis that we normal summoned, because we want all the special summon ones, but that's fine. It won't matter in the end. We're going to link up into Phantom Knight Quartz, or Phantom Quartz, get a Gem Knight Fusion, banish our Lapis, and we are going to activate Phantom Quartz's effect. Tuning damn words on these cards. Activate Phantom Quartz's effect, paying 1,000 to fusion summon Lady Lapis Lazuli, shoveling back the Seraphinite, which we had banished to the Crystal Rose, and the Lapis that was already in our graveyard. Okay, so we have special summon Lapis Lazuli and activated its effect to burn for a humble 2,000. All right, now we're going to link up into a Union Carrier. Union Carrier, super great for extending because you can get Block Dragon. Usually you want to link up with the 2 Predaplant monsters if you can. Remember to attach Block Dragon to a Gem Knight. It has to be the same attribute. So Block Dragon's Earth, we want it on our Gem Knight. We're going to activate Gem Knight Fusion's ability to get a Master Diamond. Block Dragon will trigger. We're always going to grab Adamantipator Researcher, as well as 2 Obsidians. And then we also, as we saw, we sent the Lazuli from our hand, so we'll get the Lapis back. We'll special summon the Researcher, and then activate its effect to potentially grab something off the top. Another Alexandrite is perfectly fine. We will trigger the Master Diamond, banishing the Lazuli from our graveyard, and then burning for 3k. We'll activate Gem Knight Fusion's ability in the graveyard to banish that Alexandrite. We don't need him. We'll activate Gem Knight Fusion again, sending the 2 of the cards from our hand, and then also our redundant Master Diamond. Trigger Master Diamond, banishing that second Lazuli that we sent for the previous activation, and burning for 3,000. So that's pretty much how you want to draw it up. Brilliant Fusioning into a Seraphinite, getting an extra normal summon, then being able to get into Phantom Quartz. Phantom Quartz will get you your Lady Lapis Lazuli, and then also usually using Union Carrier plus Block Dragon while you're in the midst of linking or tributing for fusion summons to get a sufficient amount of cards in your hand to activate Gem Knight Fusion several times. All right, so here we are again, this time on the draw. So we did not win the coin flip. Our opponent is on Blue Eyes. They're going to show us a Blue Eyes and get the alternative White Dragon out here, activating Bingo Machine Go, showing Chaos Form, and something light. And then they're going to set 2 and pass. Now, hopefully these are not Solemn Strikes, Solemn Judgments, whatever, but otherwise I'm feeling pretty strong. Alternative cannot trigger on our turn. It could pop something, but that's fine. We're going to lead off with the Lone Fire Blossom, go through all two, since we already have one in our hand, pitch the redundant one with the Offer Scorpio, the Darlingtonian Cobra, get the Brilliant Fusion. We already have the Gem Knight Fusion in our hand, which is great. Make sure to fire off into the void while you still have 3 cards in your hand. Getting a Lapis, excellent. Now we're going to Brilliant Fusion, sending Crystal Rose and Lapis. Yes, those are usually the 2 that you want to do. We will extra normal summon the Lapis, special summon the Adamantipator Researcher. Now that we have another rock-type monster, not an earth attribute, but a rock-type monster, we're going to go up into our Union Carrier, trigger Adamantipator Researcher just to try and pull something off the top before we grab our Block Dragon. We get an Alexandrite, that's fine. We'll trigger the Alexandrite just to continue to thin our deck, get our Gem Knight Lapis. Again, we'll equip a Block Dragon to our other Gem Knight Lapis, and then immediately link off our now obsolete Seraphinite and Lapis with the Block Dragon for a Phantom Quartz. Block Dragon will trigger. We'll also trigger Phantom Quartz along this chain, adding a Lazuli to the hand, as well as a Adamantipator Researcher and 2 Obsidians. We don't need to get the Gemnite Fusion off Phantom Quartz. We already have the Gemnite Fusion, so we might as well get another material. We will special summon back the Crystal Rose by banishing our Seraphonite. We will activate Gemnite Quartz. They will chain Ultimate Creature of Destruction, which really only matters for battling, but we are a burn deck. We do not care about battling. We will return Lapis and Seraphonite to the deck and the extra deck respectively, so that we can special summon Lady Lapis Lazuli off of Phantom Quartz's effect. And then we'll burn for a solid 3,500, pitching another Lapis Lazuli. We're going to Gemnite Fusion now using cards on our hand, plus our redundant Lapis Lazuli to get out a Gemnite Master Diamond. Master Diamond will banish Lapis Lazuli from the graveyard, sending a Lazuli to the graveyard and burning for 3,500. Lazuli will trigger. We'll get another Lapis out just to make sure that we have as many possible materials for our Gemnite Fusion as possible. We'll activate Gemnite Fusion in the graveyard, banishing the Obsidian. Activate the Gemnite Fusion using the 2 cards in our hand plus the redundant Master Diamond. We will activate Master Diamond's effect to make it become a Lady Lazuli, and we will burn for another 35. So 35 times 3, that's 10,500. So in case there was some life gain, which I did see in one of the games that I handily lost. All right, let's check this final game. We are on the play again. I'm going to lead off with an Unexpected Die, special summoning out a Lapis. Then we're going to go into Lone Fire, and you know the drill at this point. Lone Fire into Lone Fire into Lone Fire into Predaplant. Making sure to fire off Into the Void while I still had 3 cards in hand. Excellent. Something I messed up a few times when I was in my practicing as well. Got the Predaplant pitching the Redundant Researcher, getting the Cobra, getting Brilliant Fusion. Special summoning the Adamancipated Researcher. Activating Brilliant Fusion to pull cards out of the deck first before we activate the Researcher. Special summoning into Seraphonite. Linking up for Offer Scorpio to a Union Carrier. Normaling Lazuli. Activating Adamancipated Researcher. I probably should have actually activated Union Carrier first just to pull that Block Dragon out. But we did get an Alexandrite, which we can now tribute to get another Lapis. Now we're going to activate the Union Carrier, adding that to the Seraphonite. Could have been any of our Earth monsters or our Rock monsters, as long as we knew we were going to link it up into a Phantom Quartz. Trigger Block Dragon, chain Phantom Quartz, grabbing the Gemnite Fusion, and then adding to our hand our final Researcher and our 2 Obsidian. Activating Phantom Quartz to shuffle back those the Seraphonite and the Lapis, and fusing into a Lady Lapis Lazuli. Burning for 3k and sending a Lazuli. Gemnite Fusion, tributing the cards in our hand plus the redundant Lady Lazuli, getting a Gemnite Master Diamond. Activating Master Diamond to become the Lapis Lazuli, and then burning for another 3k, activating Gemnite Fusion in the graveyard, and our opponent sees the writing on the wall, so they actually save us the few clicks. And that's the deck. Like I said, incredibly vulnerable to hand traps, going second in general. Not a meta-competent deck, but certainly an interesting deck and a very fun and rewarding deck if you can learn all the lines. I have been staring at and doing various permutations of this deck for, probably 2 months almost. But now that I finally achieved the final version and then also learned the lines and learned how to play, it's very fun to play. Assuming, once again, your opponent has no Ashes or Called Bys. Or very cool deck. Wouldn't recommend spending your gems or your crafting points on it unless you are really, really into it like I am. So that's the deck.